Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to our Wednesday night Oracle Hour. I am honored to hold this space for all of you that are joining me live and that have questions on your healing journey, on your spiritual development path, your personal development path, any areas where you might be stuck or suffering or hurting, or perhaps you're in grief because you've lost a loved one and you want to hear from them. Whatever your questions are, I am happy to hold this space for you and to offer divine guidance, spiritual guidance, intuitive messages, and messages from your loved ones. I'm Sabrina Rising, and I'm an intuitive guide, a quantum healer, and a psychic medium. I've been holding this space for many, many, many years, and I love answering these questions. I love being here with you to be able to offer support during this hour. All questions are answered on a first come, first serve basis. So please type your questions in the chat and I will get to you. Hopefully everybody will get their question answered within the hour. And if you ever don't get your questions answered, you can always leave them in the comment section. You can join us here every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, or you can book a reading with me if you want to go deeper and you want to have an hour of my undivided attention. That's available too. The links are at the bottom of this video. Hi, Canada. Hi, first time here. Hello. Thank you for joining us live. We have quite a few people jumping on already, so it's wonderful to be with you all. So I'm going to get to questions in a moment. I just want to talk a little bit about, hi, Steffi. I just want to talk a little bit about this work and why I do this work and how I do this work for those of you that are interested in developing yourselves. I mean, I love being the oracle and I love being the one who answers questions and offers messages and receives guidance on your behalf and is able to shed light on your path. And I also am very passionate about empowering other people to connect to their own intuitive guidance and be sovereign in their own lives. And so, contrary to myth and popular belief, we are not born necessarily psychic or intuitive. We all come in with extrasensory gifts, and we all have the ability to develop ourselves in this way by simply dedicating ourselves to overcoming fear and limiting beliefs, and really committing to the practice of listening and trusting ourselves. Honestly, trust is the foundation of all intuitive work. And so this requires, doing the inner child work, overcoming trauma and fear and limiting beliefs and conditioning so that we can come into ourselves fully and come online, as I like to say, and be able to access our higher self, access our own divine wisdom. We all have access, as I mentioned earlier, to universal intelligence. When we develop ourselves by removing all the limiting beliefs that we have in the way, we're able to access this universal intelligence and receive the guidance that we need. Now, when you're hurting, when you're suffering, when you're struggling, when you're in a dark place, it's hard to do your own intuitive work, right? Myself included. And so, when it's helpful to have a guide, it's helpful to have support while you're, healing, and still always understanding that the work that I'm doing here as an objective observer, I'm able to shine light on whatever it is that you're going through. And at the same time, you can also be developing your own gifts and working on creating your own connection to your own inner knowing so that you can have access to answers whenever you need them. Okay, so with that said, like I said, I'm so happy to hold this space for you. And I have a lovely moderator here with me tonight, my dear friend Lacey. I will take the first question. Hi, Sunshine. Do my spirit guides have anything to tell me at this time? Thanks. Oh, I see a little Canadian flag. I'm Canadian too, by the way, originally. So let's see, Sunshine. I like it when the messages are a bit more specific so I can really help you. This is a very general question. I'm going to tune into your energy and see what I can access. Of course, my commitment is to do this for everybody here. I do my very, very best to tune in and give you clear guidance on whatever it is you need in the moment. And I also invite everybody to sort of let go of any attachments to any particular outcome. I mention this every week. Sometimes we come in here with a burning desire, a real need for something. And Spirit always gives me what you need, may not always necessarily be what you want. And of course, I do my best to meet those needs as well. So let's see, sunshine. So sunshine, when I tune into your energy, I feel a lot of sadness. I want to say almost like a borderline depression, like sort of some dark times that you're going through. And I feel called to tell you that there is support for you. I mean, obviously you're here tonight, so you know that you have access to support, but there is access in your local community, wherever you are. I feel like you're spending a lot of time sort of isolated from your community, or not reaching out to people and connecting with people. And so I feel like there's more you could be doing to get support to help you with your emotions. Okay, so I would recommend doing some inner work. I just finished talking about this, so it's perfect segue. I would like you to focus on healing some of this sadness and depression. I feel like this is something that maybe even just happens for you during this time of year, which is very normal. So I would say to trust that you have support. There are people in your community that actually are there to support you if you reach out to them. To lean into your community and learn to cultivate those relationships, because there's more available to you than you might be aware of. I hope that's helpful. Hi, Jennifer. I hope all is well with you too. Nice to see you again. What would my spirit guides like me to know at this time? Thank you. Okay, so another general question. Let me see what I can tune in to for you. For some reason, I'm getting a vision of you sort of rubbing your hand or trying to figure, like there's something going on with your left hand, I think. I think you need to take a break from whatever it is you're doing with your hands, and just I'm sensing like just relaxing more, taking care of your body, like spending less time. Like there's a lot of strain in your hands for some reason. So, sort of looking into that, pain or discomfort you might be experiencing, and giving your bodies a permission to heal right now. And this is the message that I'm called to give you. If I feel it in my left hand, let me know if that resonates for you. That's exactly what I was doing at the moment. Okay, good. So I'm doing this. I'm like massaging my left hand. So you need this, and it would be really good for you to go and get massaged if you can. Your body really needs that. So, and relaxing and giving paying more attention to your physical body. Okay. That's my message for you. I'll leave you with that. Hi, Brittany. Charlotte asking the spirits if Mark has made it. Oh, this is Charlotte. Okay, so hi, Charlotte. You are asking spirits if Mark has made it to his friend Sophia once she helped him cross over. Let me see. I'm going to take this question. Asking the spirits if Mark has made it to his friend. Let me see where Mark is. It feels like there's a group of people here on behalf of Mark. I feel like there is a woman, and there is also another gentleman, older gentleman, so maybe a father or a grandfather as well. And Brittany, I think this question is for you, so let me know if you can confirm any of this. So I'm just going to tune into Mark for now. I feel like this person was, yeah, I feel like he was taken before his time. This is a, relatively sort of middle-aged man. And it feels like there is a reunion happening. So there is a lot of peace. I feel like Mark, when he passed, there was a lot of sadness in him. Like he was missing, it could be he was missing this Sophia person. It was kind of like he had a broken heart. He felt disconnected from his love, from his, from his family. And so, was very much a going home experience for him. I mean, as it is for all of us that cross over. But this in particular feels like a kind of, it's almost like he let go so that he could be with this person. Pardon me. Charlotte has had an energetic connection with Mark, 25 years old. She was 2, and she recently learned how to help him cross over so she could reunite with his friend. Years old, since she was 2, and she recently learned how to help him cross over so he could reunite with his friend Sophia. Mark struggled with addiction and loneliness before his death. Okay, good. So, like I said, I feel like there's there's a lot of layers to this question. I feel like there's a reunion happening between Mark and this Sophia person, and there's this other gentleman as well, which I feel like could be Mark's dad. And as I mentioned, he was taken, early. And so addiction makes sense, and the broken heart as well. So, whoever is, if you can post the question again, Mark struggle with addiction. Yeah. So whoever it is that's helping him cross over also has the gift of mediumship. So this is wonderful I think it's Charlotte. I think it's beautiful to encourage her to develop this ability, and also that it's okay to let go. Like I feel called to Charlotte to tell Charlotte that it's, Mark is in good hands now, so she can really let him go. She has served, a wonderful, beautiful purpose for him, and that it's okay. She can be complete because I feel like Mark is resolving. Yeah, okay, good. Yes, I love 11-year-olds that are doing mediumship work. It's beautiful, and I love that you are holding this space for her, Brittany. It's beautiful. Like I really acknowledge you as a parent that you're, encouraging this kind of magic in your daughter. It's very beautiful. She did struggle to lead him across because she didn't want to lose their connection. Yeah, it's that. So my advice, as someone who, I was also very young when I started communicating with spirits, it's important to tell her to let go and to, teach her how to set healthy boundaries. She doesn't have to lose the connection, but she's not responsible for the connection. Okay, so she can still enjoy being connected to Mark and not feel responsible for Mark. He's in a good place and he's exactly where he needs to be, recovering. And, like I said, he died of a broken heart. So I feel like he's mending that, in the spirit realm, perhaps with this Sophia person that he's reunited with. Thank you, Brittany. I hope this was helpful. For my spirit. Okay, so Brittany, this is the same question. A person asking, "Hello, love. Thank you for sharing your gifts. Hoping for guidance from my spirit guides and past self, Agnes, if I am making sufficient progress in my healing journey." Okay, so the nature of this question is interesting. So there is no such thing as sufficient progress. Okay, so I want to absolve you of any stress or any concerns around the progress that you're making, the pace at which it's taking place. I think that it's healing journeys are meant to be organic and accessible, and it's meant to feel like you're just taking the next natural right step. Okay, so I'm going to tune into your spirit guides because that's the question you asked me. But I just want to make sure that you don't feel like there's something to achieve or something to accomplish. Okay, so healing is not about that. In fact, healing ourselves is really about just learning to be with whatever is there and accepting it and embracing it with unconditional love and presence and compassion for ourselves. Letting go of judgment is what's going to accelerate the healing process. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. So I feel like your spirit guides are actually echoing what I'm saying as well, kind of on a much broader scale, where they want you to sort of let go of control. Okay, so let go of trying to make everything perfect and make everything happen exactly the way you think it should be, and you're very hard on yourself, and you're doing. I feel like you've got a lot on your plate. Like you're responsible for a lot of people. You're doing a lot of um, or at least it feels like you're responsible for a lot of people, or at least making yourself feel like you're responsible for everybody's happiness. Maybe it's a better way to phrase that. So we want you to relax. We want you to relax and try to enjoy where you are, and just practicing compassion and non-judgment for yourself. I think that your past self, Agnes, would agree as well. It seems like there's a lot of like self-sacrificing energy in how you're living, and it's really important that you take time for yourself to make sure you're getting your needs met, to make sure that you're having fun, that you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Yeah, I really feel it. Just like, you are whole, perfect, and complete. Okay, so, and this is something I want you to just repeat as a mantra, like love and accept yourself exactly as you are. And you'll start to see that more healing happens, right? The less tight we hold on, more we loosen our grip, the more we allow for love to come through and for healing to come through. You're welcome. I'll take the next question. Fur babies. Well, it's the first time someone asked me that. Okay, so I would love to connect with your fur babies. This is great. Okay, Anne. Oh, so I see something white and fluffy, looks like a dog. And I also see something sort of kind of beige and brown. So it looks like there's more than one here. What am I feeling here? There's lots of excitement and joy. I am seeing kind of a plaid checkered blanket. If you can confirm any of this, that would be great. A plaid checkered blanket kind of wrapped or either around you, or it's like kind of a blanket that you used to lie on with this one particular dog. It looks like the lighter one. And just missing snuggling and cuddling with you. Yeah, just to know that when you're lying down, when you're in that position, as I guess you used to lie with your dog, there is, that your fur babies are still there with you. They're still connecting with you when you're in that spot. There's one of them that wants to tell you that they're is communicating that they're not in pain anymore. So they're whatever the sickness was, feels like one of them passed from illness. They're okay and they're at peace, and that you did God's those colors. Dogs. Oh, okay. Oh, no. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. But the one that I'm connecting with, and I don't know if this message resonates for you, is something about how like you made the right choice. So it was like it was time. So I hope that's helpful. Let me know if that resonates for you. Thank you for asking and for giving me the opportunity to connect. Okay, I'm Angela. Hi. I have a question about a man named Joe who was like a father figure to me. He passed in 2021. Wanted to know if he had any messages for me. Okay. Okay, I see the person that you're describing, that you're asking about. I see this sort of older gentleman with silver hair, and he's right here. And I just want to acknowledge that I see this person here. And you know, the first thing he comes in with, I don't know if this makes sense to you, is kind of like he's sorry that he didn't make more time to sit with you and to ask you more questions. You know, I feel like he could have been more of help. He feels like he could have been more helpful in something in particular that you were dealing with. And so he sort of feels bad, like he kind of abandoned you or wasn't really there to help you through something that you really needed help with. And he kind of took his hands off, like he was hands off. And he, you know, he's kind of admitting that he put the blinders on and pretended like he didn't see what you were going through. And so he's sorry that he didn't have a chance to connect with you, and then offer you the guidance that you were looking for. You know, there was a real gap there in your life that he could have filled, and he stayed away from you. It wasn't like a personal thing. I think this was a person who was very busy, got very caught up with life. But I also feel like there was some hesitation in sort of coming around because of, you know, other personal relationships that may have gotten in the way. You know, it's kind of the feeling I get is kind of like this is a situation he didn't want to touch. You know, he didn't want to like come near. And so he, you know, he's sorry for not having more courage and stepping in and being able to, you know, give you like the message that you needed or wanted, to give you the help that you needed from him. And I'm just going to see if he has a message for you now, something that, you know, that only the two of you would know about. You know, it's interesting because I see one of those like, you know, those globes. If you can tell what I'm visualizing here, it's like one of those like I don't know. I know there's a specific name for them, but it's one of those globes that you have like on a desk or something. And he's kind of like spinning that, and he's got his finger on it, and it's kind of like the messages to go abroad. And like he kind of like wants you to go, like it's almost like the messages to travel and go other places and move on from a world globe. Yeah, so move on from where you are. And it's kind of like there is a connection to Europe here. And so he's kind of saying like, you know, go and there is so the other thing that I want to say too is that you have support in your community. I know it feels like you don't, but you actually have support in your community. And it feels like you do. I would say that his message is to travel, to get out of where you are, to explore the world beyond where you're living and broaden your horizons. I don't think it's specifically for the holidays, although, you know, why not? I think it's more for life. And so he wants you to sort of open up your world this is the best way for me to interpret this message. Open up your world and explore what's out there, and go past what's, what you're living in. It's kind of like, he acknowledges that you're in a difficult situation and he wants you to get out of this difficult situation. He's telling you to like move on and sort of uh, let go, let go. There are certain things that you can't fix, and it's better to just make a peace and move on and let go. And he wants you to sort of move on with your life. Can he give me a sign that I can use? Let's see. It's a good question. I don't know. It's something about I would say to, I don't know, there's something about paying attention to the value of something. It's almost like a stock or real estate or something like that, but pay attention to the value of something that as soon as it drops, as soon as it goes down, that's kind of like a sign for you to move on. That's like, I don't know, it's almost like it's something that starts with a T. Pay attention to this asset, and as soon as there's a shift in that value, that's a sign for you to say, okay, I'm done. I can look elsewhere. I can move on. He wants you to pay attention to these type of things that have value, that an investment. I'm not sure if that makes sense to you, but paying attention to things that have value, and as soon as that shifts, that's kind of like you're opening that it's time for you to move on, and yeah, and just kind of get out of your environment. Interesting. Let's see, what does he want you to move on to? He wants you to move out of your circumstances and move on to, like, it's kind of very clear that you're capable of doing much more, like bigger things with your life. There's a real strong desire to do more things and to do bigger things with your life. And it's not in your current city. So it's kind of like, yeah, so pay attention, because he's going, and here's what I want to say to you, Angela. If you talk to him and connect with him and ask him specifically to give you signs, he will show up in your life. You just have to pay attention. Okay. He will show up, and he'll show you exactly when it's time to make the move. You'll see it, and you'll know it. There's something, again, that starts with a T, and you might have to do a little investigating. It's either a stock or a real estate investment or something like that. As soon as it starts to shift, that's when things, am I guided towards people and an environment that he is familiar with? No, not people. Environment, I wouldn't even say. Something beyond where you are now. My first inclination is to say no to that. I hope that's helpful. Hi, Steffi. Welcome back. Just because it's so fun and lovely energy, I'm here. Oh, hi. Thank you for coming. My Saturn return is coming up. How exciting for you. And I will be an empty nester. Is there a guide I should be connecting to? A message? Okay, let's see. I mean, obviously this is, kind of goes hand in hand with Saturn return, but this is a really important time for you to get complete. It's a really important time in your life to sort of review the past and let go of things that don't serve you, empty things out, declutter, clean your house, letting go, like even downsizing, like getting to a place where your life is simpler. Steffi, there's a real need for you to simplify how you're living, and yeah, just, really focusing on the things that bring you joy. I know we've talked about this before, like just focusing on the things that you want to express and how to and sharing them. The message is to really give yourself that space to integrate the last decade of your life. Feels like might be a bit longer than that, like really just integrate this last period of your life, long period of your life, and reflect on all the things that that don't bring you joy anymore, and just kind of make a point of jotting them all down and committing to not into participating in those things anymore, just really focusing on what brings you joy, what brings you happiness, and and taking time for yourself. This is this is what I feel called to tell you, Steffi. And as far as a particular guide is concerned, I mean, I feel the presence of Kuan Yin. I mean, I don't know if you resonate with Kuan Yin, but I would really meditate on her and ask her for guidance and ask her to, connect with you and to give you signs and feel her presence, and be open to it. And I will leave you with that. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. It is. Trust is the foundation. Without it, and here's the thing, and the reason I always talk about that is because as human beings, we are conditioned to not trust ourselves, right? We're conditioned to listen to our environment, our caregivers, the authorities on what we should do, what we should say, how we should feel, how we should behave. And so throughout this conditioning process, we learn to deny our own impulses, our own desire, our own intuition, ultimately. And so developing your intuition is all about learning to trust yourself again and waking up to your own innate wisdom. So learning to trust ourselves is where the intuitive guidance begins. And you can start with little things like keeping your word to yourself, doing what you said you were going to do during the day. You can start by, honoring your own needs, right? Creating a safe environment for yourself, creating a space of compassion and kindness, changing your inner dialogue. These are all little things that we all have control over that we can do to establish self-trust, self-safety. And when we learn to really trust ourselves and honor ourselves and treat ourselves like people that we really like and can rely on and honor, ultimately, the intuition becomes very clear, right? And the more we practice this, the stronger it becomes. Good. I'm happy to hear that, Steffi. I'm happy to hear that. Let me know if Kuan Yin resonates for you. I would look her up as well because I feel like she's important on your path. Hello, Emily. May I have some insight into my spiritual development? I feel things are shifting, but I'm not quite there yet. Okay, this is a beautiful place to be, Emily. When things are shifting, things are always shifting all the time. Every moment throughout the day, things are shifting. And there is no there. There is no there. You'll have moments of feeling like, oh, I have a breakthrough, or oh, I have some ease around this, or I have some insight into this. And then, as soon as you feel like you have it, it feels like it's gone. And this is very normal in your spiritual development journey. So specifically as it relates to your particular energy, Emily, I feel like you're someone who's very committed and you take your spiritual path seriously. And, I think I see you doing like kind of like a lot of research and looking into things and so on, which I think is beautiful. And, I want you can be there right now with me. It's just a matter of like relaxing and allowing yourself to fully embrace the moment exactly as it is. Again, we learn to channel universal intelligence by letting go of judgments. this is can be a lifelong journey, letting go of judgments, depending on our childhood, our, the lifetime we're in, our karma, and so on. So just really just trusting that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. There's no accidents in the universe. Everything's always happening in the perfect time. So you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and just accepting that will allow more insights to come in. I feel like, and I'll just be more specific too, because I'm giving you very general guidance, but it's very applicable to where you are on your path. Emily. I think I really feel like you need to spend more time alone, and in your own energy. Not alone necessarily without other people, but just time focusing on your own energy, focusing on your own needs, and taking care of yourself in that way, in your own spiritual way. So and like I said, don't put the pressure on yourself to be anywhere other than where you are. I mean, like I said, liberation can happen in an instant. It's the integration that takes time. Believing that we are making progress, and believing that we are exactly where we're supposed to be, and that love is present currently, right? Once we let go of blocking it out. So I hope that's helpful for you, Emily. Hello. Hi, Elam. I'm going through a really hard time with my daughter, Daria, 15, and she has long COVID. I'm so sorry to hear that. And it's really debilitating. Yeah. I'm looking for some guidance on how to manage this journey, how to help her. So, okay. So I love this question. Thank you for asking it. So as a mom, especially when you see your baby suffering and hurting, our the tendency is to want to rush in and help heal and help fix and help, find solutions. We don't want our children to suffer ultimately. Okay, and so I can relate to this as a mom myself, and it's very important for you to start relating to her like she's healthy. Okay, because there's a part of what happens in a collective consciousness is that she feels sick, and then you understand that she's sick, and so that there's a lot of language around her not feeling well and her not doing well. And so the first place I would start in sort of shifting the energy and supporting her is holding this frequency that she is okay. Start relating to her like she's well, and like she's okay, like she's coming out of this, like she's she's getting through it. My sense with your daughter, who has a suppressed immune system, is that there's a lot of sadness with her. Like she feels like she's missing out, and she can't do the things she wants to do. And so this is kind of like it's an accumulated effect, right, of her being withdrawn from life and withdrawn from normal activities for a girl her age, and not being able to fully uh, um, um, take advantage of all the opportunities that she has. And so, there's this sort of this, it's kind of like this energy of her not being well is kind of closing in on her. Right. So, I would, first of all, I mean, if it's at all possible, I would take her somewhere else, like I would take her perhaps on if you're able to go on kind of like I feel like you need to take her into nature somehow. So if you can somehow manage that, even just the two of you would be so good for you, and to help her develop a spiritual practice. So perhaps you could meditate with her and help her with some affirmations, help her with some beliefs about her well-being, about connecting to her own health. And that I'm a strong believer that our belief system influences every cell in our physical body. So if you start relating to her like she's well, start holding that frequency and invite her into that practice with you, it would be very, very helpful to her to lift her spirits. She's got to lift her spirits first before we can shift what's happening for her on a physical level. Okay, when we change our mindset and we change our frequency, we change our circumstances. Okay. And I hope that's helpful. And I'm sending you so much love and compassion. I know this is a really tough journey that you're on. And unconditional love has the power to heal everything. So I know you have that as a mom. So continue to express that. Unconditional love expresses itself not in so much in like, oh, how do we fix this? But like in, oh, this is already healed. Okay. So that's the attitude I want you to adopt, and make sure you take care of yourself, and do your own inner work as well. You're welcome. Do your own inner work as well, so you can let go of, the pain and the worry, the lots of worrying that you have around her. Okay, so she doesn't feel that. Okay, as much as possible. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for asking. Hi, Sunshine. You're welcome. Am I on the right path? That's what I'm wondering. Okay, so here's what I would suggest. If you have questions about whether or not you're on the right path, then there's probably something else you could be doing that might fit, that might click a little bit better for you. So, as I mentioned earlier, someone else had a question. We're always exactly where we're supposed to be. And if we don't feel like we're getting the most that we can from where we are, then the first thing I would do is just get fully present, right? And I would make sure that you have some kind of spiritual practice, or some kind of practice. It can be a meditation practice or inner work practice or a daily ritual that you do that allows you to go inward and be with your own internal landscape. That's where you're going to find all the answers to your questions. Okay. I'm not here to tell anybody that you're on the wrong path, unless you're hurting yourself, actively, physically harming yourself. Then obviously, I would say you're not on the right path. But if you are, practicing and developing yourself every day, there is something a bit more that you could be doing as far as being present and having a daily ritual. Okay. This will help you. Structure, Sunshine, is what I feel called to say to you. Structure will help you. And it will help you feel like, things are moving forward and things are progressing, and I'm, opening up to more things and more gifts and more possibilities in my life. Being in a structure, I think, is very helpful for you. Thank you for asking. Okay. Hi, Life Over 50 in Portugal. Hi. I love your handle. It's very cute. Would love to know if I should move or stay put where I'm at, or just travel more next year. Okay. So, okay. So these type of questions are they're always interesting to me, because this is an expression of doubt, right? So I don't know what to do. And this is something that we all struggle with, as part of the reason why we're here, looking for intuitive guidance, whether you're looking for a psychic reading, mediumship reading, or some kind of spirit message. Is because we don't know what to do or what we need in order to feel happy, right? In order to feel like we're at peace. And so there's no right or wrong answer to this question, right? If you move, you'll have the experience you're supposed to have if you move. If you stay put, you'll have the experience you're supposed to have if you stay put, right? Or if you travel, you'll have the experience. So like, there's no wrong answers. And the reason I'm saying this is not because I don't want to commit to an answer. It's just because I want to empower all of you with the understanding that life is always unfolding exactly as it should be. Okay. Now, it really depends on whether or not you're in alignment with your goals and your intentions. Okay. So what I would do, Life Over 50, is I would get clear on how you want to feel in your life. What is your intention, right? Like, what are you trying to accomplish, right? If the idea is to accomplish community and laying down roots and connecting with others and opening yourself up to the possibility of deeper relationships, meaningful relationships with like-minded people, in your particular case, let me just tune in, because you asked me the question and I want to respect that. In your particular case, I think it would take some time to really settle in where you are. Okay. It's going to take some more time to settle in where you are. And I feel like where you are is not really what you thought it was going to be. It's not turning out to be exactly what you had hoped or envisioned or imagined for yourself. So I can sense the disappointment, and I can sense why you might be feeling like, okay, I don't know what to do, right? This is not, wasn't, I don't know if this was the right move. So that's a fair question. But my guidance is the same. I would really want you to sort of connect more, go deeper within yourself and ask yourself, like, what is my real intention? What do I want to create in my life? Do I want to explore the possibility of, traveling, or am I really committed to just staying where I am? Because you can build the life you want in any place as long as you're willing to invest the time and the resources and to show up fully in the community that you're in. Okay. So that's how I want to answer that question. Thank you for asking. I hope that's helpful. Hi, Miss Makaya. Let me see. Wow. I miss my late mom and dad who have passed so many years ago. Teresa and Revocatus. I hope I said that correctly. Do they have any messages for me? I miss them so much when I am stressed with life. Oh, okay. Let me see if they have any messages for you, Miss McCann. I have an older woman here that's wearing glasses, and she's with this man, older man as well. It feels like he's a little bit older than her, and they're together. So I'm going to assume these are your parents. I believe they are. And yeah, I feel like, mom is definitely more nurturing. I feel like there's a stronger connection with mom. I think mom wants to talk first and wants to communicate first and wants to let you know that she is with you always, that she's never left your side, that she is with you in, I'm seeing, uh, there's kind of like a cabinet, a furniture cabinet or something like that, that was hers, that might belong to you now. And I don't know if it's a cabinet or actually it could be a jewelry box. More specifically, it's something that you can open with a little key, and there's something in there that is connecting you to her, and she wants you to know. It sounds like I hear music as well, so the message is that she is in those, she's with you when you're home. She sees you like when you're alone and spending time by yourself at home. She's very connected to your grief and your sadness, and she feels your stress, and it's kind of like she was saying, like she would like your life to be easier. I feel like there's a lot of it seems like there's some drama in your family. And so she wants your life to be easier. She wants you to have peace. And the message is that, she just wants you to remember her and remember that you're safe and that you're supported, and she's there to help guide you. It's interesting because she's doing most of the talking, even though she's with your dad. And, dad is very kind of quiet, and I feel like he has a lot of sadness around the situation with your family as well, and he wants to it's kind of like they're saying to remember your values, like remember how they tried to raise you, that family is important, and that and to remember that you're loved. Let me know if any of that resonates for you, Miss McKay. I'll leave you with their love. Hi, Terry. Mom died in 1995. Was wondering if she has any words of wisdom. Let me see. I feel the presence of this woman, and she seems pretty crafty. There's something about, if there's something you can recognize, but something about flower wallpaper. And so it's almost like she wants you to change the design of your environment, or the design of your, where you're living. I would say that mom wants you to sort of be more at peace in your environment. I feel like this is a woman who was like, she was, she was very attached to things, and she doesn't want that for you. She wants you to let go of things, and she wants you to not be afraid of change, not be afraid of like changing things up, or moving things around, or reorganizing things, letting things go. That's her wisdom, because I feel like this person was very attached to things, and she she held on tightly, and she's showing me a little notebook that she's writing in, and it's almost like she's taking your hand and writing in this notebook. So she wants you to continue doing either journaling, or there's something that you write every day. She wants you to continue doing that, because she connects with you. You can feel her when you're doing this activity, when you're writing in this journal, or in this book that you write in. And yeah. The other thing I want to say is that there's a recipe or something that she left you, or something that you do in her memory or in her honor, that she really appreciates. She really appreciates you sort of carrying that on, and she's like aware that you're doing that, and wants you to be aware that she knows that you're doing that. And she's very proud of you. She's very proud of how you're living your life. She just wants you to not be afraid to change things, not be afraid to let go of things. I'll leave you with her love, Terry. Hi, Lacey. I have a fur baby question. Okay. I'd love to know if there's any messages from my fur babies also. Okay. Let me see. Oh, I see a big dark dog. So Lacey, let me know if I'm saying this correctly. There's one in particular. I would say, I know already that you have 2 dogs today, but I would say that this dog, in the spirit realm, is very happy that you have companionship, and it's kind of like the dog is communicating that you need to have this animal in your life. Like, you need to be with a pet, you need to be with a guardian, you know. And it feels like this particular dog, darker fur. Okay, good. Yeah, that's, I was gonna say pit bull, but I don't know my dog breeds that well. It looks, could have been a, short-haired dog. So it feels like this dog feels like he was your guardian, and really kind of protected you and was with you through all kinds of difficult times. Um, and I like, he's kind of likes that you're in a much lighter place now, much lighter, more loving, more, you've got more unconditional love in your life. And this particular animal just wants you to know that, you know mm, yeah, that I feel like you took really good care of him. And it's kind of like, if there were times where it felt like it was just the two of you, and so, um he's just kind of reminding you of those times, and that to lean into him because he's still with you in those times when you might feel alone, or you might feel, she was my soul dog and was with me through it all. Definitely. She brought my current dogs to me also. Of course, they always do. This is beautiful. Makes sense. This dog was just wants you to remember that, to lean into him in those moments when you feel alone, and to remember those times because you were able to get through them together, and you have the strength, to get through anything. This dog really is kind of championing your inner strength and your resilience. That's the word that comes through a lot, with the dog. Just really, how resilient you are, and also acknowledging you for taking care of him. When it was hard, there was some times when you kind of, you didn't leave each other's side. You were there for him as much as he was there for you. And I feel like you also made some sacrifices for this dog. So there's a lot of acknowledgement and gratitude and respect and love for you, for being a loving dog owner. I hope that's helpful. You're welcome. My pleasure. My pleasure. All right. I don't know how. It's 5:57. Okay, let's take one more question. And we'll wrap up for tonight. Hi, Anne. Oh, let me see here. Thank you. Okay. Wow, we got a lot going on here. Okay. Family friend. I'm so sorry. Suicide is very difficult. It's very difficult in the spirit realm also to connect with souls that have taken their own lives. I will do my best. Yeah, I mean, I really feel like there was a lot of, depression, anxiety, could have been sort of like, there's a lot of chemicals in the energy that I'm tuning into, that I'm feeling the presence of this gentleman. Um, just a lot of grief and regret, and I don't, I sort of feel reserved around, sort of, detailing the end of his life. Only suffice it to say that this person is no longer in any pain, and feel like he left a daughter behind, and that's the big, regret that he has, is around this, young girl. Feels like a daughter, and I'm seeing some white flowers, like, almost like tulips. He's showing me. And as far as any messages for you specifically, and from this person, I feel like you helped in this situation. So, like, you either helped with the process of helping the family, kind of grieve, or you helped in this situation, in the this challenging time in this family. And so there's some acknowledgement for you and your efforts and um your willingness to step in and to help with the situation, and to help with the family's difficult time. Um, and perhaps you have something to do with this young girl. Like, there is kind of a desire for you to spend time with her, to bring, to come around the family and to be, because the family that um, suffered his loss is still kind of stuck there. They haven't fully processed it yet. And so there's been a lot of trauma around this, and you can help, by being supportive and being there and being present. That's what I feel coming through for you, Anne. Hope that's helpful. My mom was exactly what you said, loving and keeping the family together. My dad was a quiet person. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Miss McKay. I'm happy to offer you messages and support and reassurance. You're welcome, man. You're welcome, Terry. You're welcome, everybody. I love you all so much. Thank you for joining me here tonight. This hour flies by. I don't know how. Probably because my eyes are closed for most of it. I really adore every single one of you. Thank you for joining me every Wednesday at 5. I will be here. If you got your questions answered, thank you for interacting, participating, and having the courage to ask. Sometimes the questions we have and the concerns we have about our own spiritual journey, healing journey, help others that maybe don't have the courage to ask. And so, hopefully in answering your question, I'm able to answer questions for everybody else as well, and their own healing journey. And if you didn't have a question answered, please come back next week. I'm here every Wednesday at 5 for an hour. If you want to go deeper with me and have my undivided attention, I'm offering 50% off intuitive psychic readings and mediumship readings as well for the month of November. This is a time of year where we're all struggling with the change in season, and the feeling of loss and grief and renewal and so on. So I feel very called to help offer as much reassurance and guidance and support as I can. So feel free to book a session with me. There's also an opportunity to work with me in a longer term container if you feel called to do that. If you're developing your own intuitive gifts, or you're a facilitator, for example, and you want to learn how to guide others, there's an opportunity to work with me as well. So those are the codes for the 50% discount, and they'll be posted as well at the bottom of this video. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe. Please come back every week. I am here every Wednesday at 5. In the meantime, I bless you with all of my love and gratitude. May you go into a beautiful, beautiful and safe Halloween tomorrow night, and a beautiful weekend. I will see you all very soon. Good night.